Okay, question F. So this is really looking at the theory. I think you did a basketball practical on this, but how does a novice versus a pro differ in terms of how they perform? So they've given you a context of performance, and it's golf, and it's to do with golf putting. So don't get too distracted by this. It's there to kind of give you a sense of something that you can refer to, but the answer is not about golf. The answer is about the green stuff. It's novice versus professional performance. And look, if you read it here, it does say discuss specific areas. It doesn't want you to just say random things. It wants you to be really, really clear about how a pro and a novice differ. The context can be golf. So 5 marks. This is quite tricky actually. So I'm going to show you my plan. Before I show you the answers and the mark scheme, I think it would be useful here to think about what is the definition of skill. What do we mean by skill or skillful performance? Well, when we watch a skillful performance, it might look aesthetic, it might look fluid and efficient. And that's because if we think back to what skill actually is, it's something that we've learned over time. So we've practiced it, we've perfected it, it looks good. And because we've practiced and perfected it through learning, we've got maximum certainty. What we mean by that is if we're going to do a layup, we're pretty sure it's going to look a certain way, and it should go in the back of the basket or go in the basket if we do it properly. So it's learned and it's certain. It's efficient movement because it's learned. It doesn't look erratic. And we might even talk about consistency there, which we come on to over here. Goal orientated is part of the definition as well, and it comes to do with this as well. It's got a purpose. It's not just a random movement. There's a purpose attached to a skill to score a basket, for example. So using what the definition of skill is, these are the kind of words that you were supposed to come up with in terms of the theory, but also words that I kind of attach to skillful performance. If something is skillful, it looks good. It'll be efficient, which means we don't waste energy. It should be like minimal effort for the person who's performing it, not a real struggle. It's something we've learned, like we said, but also if we think about how performance itself is rather than, the person looks, you should be consistent. You should be getting 10 out of 10 layups if you're skillful, and you should therefore be accurate with your performance as well. Another word that comes to mind as well is controlled. You've got everything under control. You're not having to regain control by making mistakes. You should be in control of what you're doing. So these are the words that you really need to think about for skilled versus novice performance. If we were to look at that in context of a golfer, how would it look? Well, down here. So feel free to have a look at any of those words and the examples that they've set. But one such example is that if you might talk about accuracy with the example, the distance the ball lands away from the hole. If we're putting, we would expect to see a novice far away from the hole and a professional in or very close to the hole. So yeah, you can certainly relate it to the context given. I think that's a good idea. You certainly can't just say 3 things or say a few things and get too many marks for that.